When you start a business alone, you're not just signing up to be the founder. You're signing up to be the writer, the strategist, the editor, the social media manager, the marketer, and so many other things. And the worst part is that you're doing all of that while watching your business barely move. And it's not because you're not working hard enough. You're probably working harder than most people you know. But the reason why your business feels stuck is because you're spending your best energy on the wrong things. And you know this is you because your social media is always inconsistent because of the fact that you never batch content properly. Your email list is going cold because writing newsletters keeps getting pushed back until tomorrow. More than likely, you're still manually responding to every single DM, sponsor, or customer inquiry. And your ChatGPT is open across 17 different tabs because you're probably using it as a search engine instead of actually using it as a system. Now, if you related to anything I just said, you'll definitely want to keep watching. In this video, I'm going to show you 7 automations that will completely change how your business operates. So instead of you staying up until midnight chasing up a sponsor for a contract, you'll have an AI agent that handles all of that for you. Imagine waking up in the morning and the invoice is already paid. The negotiation, the contract, everything is already done on your behalf. That is what running a properly automated business feels like. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly how to build that. One thing that I've come to realize is that there's 2 different types of tasks in your business. There's the high leverage ones that only you can do. So for example, showing up on camera, building relationships, making creative decisions. And then there's the low leverage tasks, which is just things that need to get done. So for example, the reporting, the scheduling, follow-ups, all of that stuff. At the end of the day, if you want to run a successful business, you want to focus more on the high leverage tasks and try to outsource as much of the low leverage tasks as you possibly can. Back then, and I mean before AI, what this meant was that you'd have to hire like 100 different people for your team. And obviously that can be very expensive and stressful. I feel like for the longest time, what I was doing was just opening up ChatGPT and asking it for captions or to reply to emails. I genuinely thought that was the extent of what AI could do for my business. More than likely, every AI tool that you're currently using will just live inside that one window. So you give it a prompt, it answers, you close the tab, and it's gone. That's it. That's just how these basic tools work. They answer you, they don't actually work for you. Today, I'm going to put you onto an all-in-one tool that I've been using recently. You guys have probably heard of the tool Creao. With Creao, you literally describe what you want in plain English, and then the agent builds it and runs it live. That will then become a permanent automation that runs forever. And the beautiful thing about it is that it just locks in and executes. There's no surprises, it's very predictable, and you'll get the same output every single time. I'm going to show you exactly how this works. So what we're going to do first is we're going to head over to Creao AI. As always, the links for anything mentioned in my videos are down in the description. For Creao, you don't actually have to enter any payment details or anything. You just create a free account. And once you're in, this is what your dashboard is going to look like. Keep in mind that all the uses that I'm going to be showing you in this video are going to be free for you to start up with Creao. But yeah, now that you're signed up, let me show you the 7 uses that you can get out of this tool. Number 1 being a virtual assistant. Most entrepreneurs will start their day basically reacting to stuff. So for example, emails, notifications, trying to even figure out what needs their attention in the day. Believe it or not, that uses up a lot of mental energy. Like for example, the automation that I have set up will basically prioritize all of the emails that I got that need immediate attention. So this could be sponsors, brand deals, customers, and stuff like that. It's connected to my Google Calendar, so it will literally summarize what I need to get done in the day. So for example, what meetings are coming up, what events, what tasks need to get done. For my one specifically, I've even asked it to update me on news in my industry. So for example, in affiliate marketing, digital marketing, YouTube, I'm always up to date with what's going on. So the way that you can set this up is you basically open up the chat and you just talk to it. So my prompt, which by the way, I'll leave every single prompt for this video down in the description as well, is every morning I want a briefing that pulls my emails, checks my calendar, and summarizes the top news in my industry. And as you can see from that prompt, is building and delivering the output live in the chat. So you'll be able to see exactly what you're getting. From here, Creao is going to pull that workflow and then build it into a reusable agent. And then all that's left to do is set a daily schedule. So now, for example, for me, 8 a.m. every single morning, I wake up and my brief is ready for me to look at. And you can even do a test run, so it actually allows you to send yourself an email to see what that even looks like. Keep in mind that a freelance virtual assistant will cost you anywhere between like $400 to 1.2 minimum. This agent runs every single day for a fraction of that price, and it saves you around 10 to 15 hours a week on average. The next role that Creao can replace in your business is a social media manager. Showing up consistently on social media while you're running everything else in the back end can be really exhausting. automation, what typically happens is that you'll find yourself posting in bursts and then disappearing, or spending way too much time thinking about what to post next. So the automation that I've got up and running will actually create a format for posts generated in one run. It will create copies that are native to whatever platform I'm posting on. So for example, a Threads copy might look completely different to one of my Instagram copies. It can even schedule the content without me having to do anything. Now for this prompt specifically, I'll leave the template down in the description because you'll need to fill it out. But you essentially want to give it some context of what your brand is about and what your brand voice sounds like, and how often you plan to post on the platforms of your choice. In general, for a decent social media manager, you're spending minimum 1.5 a month, or if you're currently doing it yourself, you'll at least be able to save 8 to 10 hours a week. So either way, it's a win-win. The next role is the researcher. Knowing exactly what's currently working in your space is exactly what you need to understand what direction to go in. The issue is that you manually reading industry news, checking competitors, and trying to spot gaps takes a lot of time. And as a business owner, that's time that you do not have. The automation that I've set in place does research on any topic, market, or competitor. And from that, it gives me a structured and detailed brief that I can get input straight into my Notion. What I got my agent to do is scrape the web weekly to better understand what my top 3 competitors are doing. It helps me understand exactly what's currently working, what's going viral, any anomalies. And since it's paired up with industry news, I get better context so I don't waste time making content that is not relevant. Next up is actually one of my favorites, and that is the creative director. Now this includes briefing designers, generating visual assets, and creating content for ads and social media. In general, this is one of the most time consuming and also just energy draining parts of running an online business. What I get my agent to do is based off just the title and script, and for example, if I have any inspo, it will go off and create thumbnail examples for me to use. So this will literally connect to my Dropbox that has my thumbnail folders, and then it will literally create my thumbnails for me in Canva without me having to lift a finger. Even in cases where I want to try out a thumbnail designer, the AI will literally give a description based on what thumbnails are already working for YouTube videos similar to mine. What it also does is based off the scripts in my Notion templates, it will also go in and add suggestions for graphics that my editor should use throughout my video to help visual learners really understand what my videos are about. The next role that I've replaced is an SEO specialist. Now you can create the best content ever, but if you don't have the right SEO behind it, more than likely the target audience is not going to find it. An SEO specialist is one of the most valuable hires that you can get in your company, but it definitely tends to be one of the most expensive. How I set my one up is I connected it to my SEMrush, which is a keyword research platform, and I set a monthly trigger that pulls my top performing topics, and from that it identifies related keyword opportunities. Just for this role alone, you're saving at least $2,000 a month by using Creao instead of hiring someone. The next role that you can replace is your ops manager. What I got my agent to do is actually write weekly business reports. It pulls all the project status updates, and it has like a self-maintaining knowledge base in my system. So through my Notion and everything that I write about my company, it understands everything to the core, which means that it turns my entire business system into a process that I can literally send to someone and they understand how my business works. My super agent in particular, what it does is it pulls my completed tasks every single Friday. It will tell me if anything is overdue, and it will also write a status report, which is very, very important. And lastly, but most importantly, I also use it for email marketing. Now, recently I learned that the first window that someone subscribes to your email list is the highest engagement window that you will ever get in the entire lifespan of them being a subscriber. And a huge amount of businesses waste that opportunity. What I've set up the Creao super agent to do is do my entire email marketing system that's fully in my brand voice. It will go in and A/B test subject lines. It will get rid of inactive subscribers. It will do everything that a traditional email marketing specialist can do, but just much faster and much cheaper. As an example, it will pull data from my YouTube videos so that it can create newsletters that are relevant to it. One thing that I typically do is I let it draft it so I can double check before anything gets sent out. But yeah, just based off the 7 roles that I shared, if you had to hire a freelancer for each and every one of these roles, you're looking at $5,000 minimum every single month that you need to spend, when as you can see, these 7 automations will replace all of that. Now I'm going to keep it 100% with you guys. Creao is definitely one of the best platforms that you can use as a solopreneur, and it's honestly really hard to mess up a prompt as a complete beginner because it will very easily understand what it needs to do. However, you do need to understand that this does not replace your creativity and your personality or your judgment. What it does is it removes the boring and repetitive tasks in your business so you can focus on what actually makes money. Now, if you want me to show you guys how to do a full step-by-step tutorial where I show you how to build an entire content system from scratch using Creao, drop the word system down in the comments. But yeah, that sums up today's video. If you learned something new, please drop me a like and subscribe. I'll be sure to respond to any and all questions and comments. Best of luck, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.